Good evening, I'm Shayna Humphreys. Tonight we're going to be exploring hair. Not just any hair, but natural black hair, the beauty of it, and the importance of a society accepting of it. We're going to be taking a look back through history to understand this current natural hair movement and why it's so much more than a trend or a hashtag. Why are so many people choosing to go natural? We hope to answer that for you tonight. If you haven't already noticed, there is a natural hair movement underway.
Don't touch my hair.
In fact, it's been a long time coming.
When I first started doing hair, natural hair was not a thing. It was not a hashtag. There was no social media.
Yet today, there are books and movies.
Back to your roots.
Hair blogs and home remedies, lotions, potions, and beauty influencers who can't be ignored. Not to mention store shelves filled with products designed to nurture rather than destroy the curls, kinks, and coils black women are born with.
It was a call of action for me. I was one who loved my perm. I loved my hair straight. The moment I found myself freshman year in college and I was stressed, I lost my edges. Stress took out my hair because it was processed.
Syreeta Scott, owner of Duafe Holistic Hair Care in North Philadelphia, has a story not unlike that of many who have joined the natural hair movement after suddenly coming to a point of reckoning. It's a realization countless women have had, that they were tired of relaxing or covering up their God-given tresses with wigs, weaves, or protective styles that are no more convenient than they are comfortable.
I knew that I was making choices to fit in. I knew that the beauty aesthetic, how we describe beauty, I didn't feel like I fit in. Wearing my hair straight never worked.
Fast forward to today, and it's a much different story for the woman who has coiffed all kinds of celebrity hair, from Janet Jackson and director Ava DuVernay to Philadelphia's own Jill Scott, the legendary Smokey Robinson, and more.
My hair was never this long, my hair was never this healthy, and I spent my whole day working around my hair, not wanting to swim or exercise.
For fear that it would shrivel up or go back, as some would say. And while the natural hair movement in the U.S. actually kicked off more than a decade ago, it's a new phenomenon for some black women. In fact, it's a decision many have come to recently during the pandemic.
It was trauma. We were forced to take pause. During shutdown, it was so many images that was being thrown at you. It was so much fear and uncertainty that was happening. You were left with your thoughts. And when you begin to be left with your thoughts, the real conversations happen.
Rather than trying to find someone to do their hair, many black women were forced to do their own. For some, that meant showing some much-needed love and tenderness to the hair they came into the world with for the very first time.
The conversations they were having was, I always wanted to go natural, but my husband said they weren't comfortable. I always wanted to wear my hair in locks, but I was fearful that because of the microaggressions that's in corporate America, I won't be able to thrive. I always wanted to wear my hair natural, but my family had horrible things to say about my hair being peasy or unkept.
But more and more, the conversation, like the beauty standard, is changing. And the movement, like healthy, natural black hair, is growing. So our team at Fox 29 started talking about black hair in all of its glory a long time ago, 20 years to be exact. That's when we spoke with Ayanna Bird and Lori Tharps, the authors of the groundbreaking book, Hair Story, Untangling the Roots of Black Hair in America. It was an eye-opening read back then, and it still is today, especially when you consider not much has changed.
Black hair is beautiful.
Black hair is expressive.
Black hair is versatile.
Black hair is beautiful because it tells us about who we are.
Black hair is beautiful indeed, and its history is as deep as its roots.
Our hair is a mystery to a lot of non-Black people. So what we found in our research is that In Africa, in the West African societies, the hair was an identifier of who you were.
It told everything from one's rank in society to whether they were ready to be married, as author Lori Tharps shared with us back in 2001. Certain hairstyles spoke volumes then and still speak volumes today, though society's interpretation isn't always so positive. Of course, we can't forget the 2018 case of New Jersey high school student Andrew Johnson. He is the multiracial teenager who was forced to cut his hair to compete in a wrestling match or forfeit. Not only was it traumatic for him, but for the millions of people who watched in horror on television and via social media as he was humiliated, his hair forcibly cut.
He was emotionally drained. He had tears coming down his eyes.
Surprisingly, it's not just people of other racial backgrounds who sometimes take issue with black people wearing their natural hair. Sometimes it comes from within the black community as well.
We're still definitely judged by our hair by blacks and non-blacks. Older generation black people have been the ones who've mostly made comments that haven't been so positive about my hair, just sort of like not understanding why I would possibly do the nappiest thing possible to my hair by choice.
And 20 years after that interview with author Ayanna Bird, that lack of approval is still felt by some in the workplace. In fact, there are multiple cases of black women in particular being let go from positions because their employer had a problem with the way they choose to wear their hair. And these are just a few instances of black people, especially women, having to endure the racism that sometimes comes with them simply wanting to wear their hair the way it naturally grows out of their heads. But rather than break them, it's instead given many more reason and the strength needed to embrace their hair in all of its natural glory. Coming up, the conversation has reached Washington. The Crown Act could soon ban hair discrimination in the U.S.